Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jad from Mystic Priestess School. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. This is a quick, brief video that I want to share with you because I received quite a few questions in Mystic Priestess School and with my students, the chakra dance students, about what is spiritual protection and how can you feel more protected every day in your life, because a lot of people are living their lives from a place of fear, fearing that there's a lot of interference with their own divinity, with their own divine free will, fearing that this interference might come from spirits coming up of the earth or a lot of nasty spirits outside, so that when you meditate and you open yourself up to meditation and seeking enlightenment, that all kinds of things can jump into your aura, jump into your field, and skew a whole lot of stuff for you in your life. So I kind of want to make things a little bit straight, coming from my point of view, because there are so many different schools of thought. So what is right for you is right for you. So, listen to what I have to share if it fits for you. So let's go ahead and take that information. But if it doesn't fit for you, just let it go. So you don't have to believe anything that anybody is saying, not any authors in the books, people on YouTube, people like anywhere. You need to become the author of your life, and you have that will, that power to decide what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Deal? All right. So spiritual protection. The main thing that I want for you to understand about spiritual protection is that you're in charge of it, right? So it is no one else, no other entities, no crystals, no essential oils, no herbs, no spell that is really doing the spiritual protection for you. Spiritual protection comes from yourself, from your vibe. And so therefore, yes, spells and crystals and oils and all of that can help you achieve that sense of spiritual protection, but it still comes from you. You are the one doing this energetic hygiene to your electromagnetic field so that you feel strong and that your life force vitality is strong. So imagine for a moment that you're a plant. So you might be a little tree, a little plant. Just imagine that for a moment. This plant has really great soil. There's a lot of minerals. There's a lot of that plant food in the soil where it's planted, whether it's in the garden or in a pot. This plant receives plenty of sunshine, plenty of water, not too much, just enough water. Now, if you can imagine that this plant is really vital, its life force energy is strong. So the roots go really down into the earth. So when there's wind that comes or when there's something that arrives, that little plant is very resilient. It might shake and move with the wind, but it will always come back up. And it might lose some leaves, but its life force vitality is always there, and the plant can continue to grow strong because it has the right environment to grow strong. Following me? So now imagine that you're a plant, maybe just right next to this plant, but somehow you're not in the right soil. Somehow your roots aren't going all the way down where it's supposed to go down. Just the way that this plant is placed, there's less sunshine, there's less rain that goes on it. So it doesn't receive all the nutrients that it can, and it's not doing anything to change the situation. Now it's a plant, so of course it can't just walk away, but you're not a plant, right? So, but just imagine that you know that you're not in the right environment and you do nothing to change this environment. So what happens when things come up for this plant that doesn't have the right nutrients, that doesn't have the roots all the way down to the ground, right? It's more susceptible to disease. It's more susceptible to bugs to all kinds of infestation. And when there's a big storm, it might just wither and there's not enough life force vitality to come back after the storm. So take that comparison of the plants to your own life. How are you managing your energy? Are you allowing yourself to really grow in that vital life force energy? Are you allowing yourself to grow your roots down into the earth, to really be in your body? A lot of spiritual people are not in their bodies. A lot of spiritual people wish that they were still living in the stars, that they were still living as spirit, that they would still be a ghost somewhere, but just not in the body. So there's that disconnection between the head and the heart and the actual 3D world in which we live. Because want it or not, you have a body and there's a part of you that is very much 3D, that is here, now, in this moment. Your mind, your imagination, that's a 4D. Your soul is a 5D. So there's a whole component of you that is spirit. And yet there's another very real component of you that is physical, that is a body. So you must take care of your body. So what that means is that for that environment, for you as a plant to grow, do you exercise regularly? Do you take walks in nature? Do you take sun baths? Just a little bit, like, beware skin cancer, everything else, yes, but once in a while you just have to turn your head to the sun and just allow the rays and just drink up the sunshine. Do you eat properly? Do you have proper nutrients? Do you have enough proteins for your muscles, for your body? Now, remember, the more you want to be a spiritual person, the stronger your body needs to be. Because what we're doing here on earth, especially if you have a spiritual mission, is that you're anchoring a spiritual reality in the 3D. So your body is that vessel for the anchoring of the 3D. So your vessel has to be really strong. If you have a very flimsy vessel, you might feel things and you might have really strong intuitive and imaginative hits, but you won't be able to anchor it in the 3D. And it's only through that anchoring that you can make changes in your life, in your community, and globally. So your body has to be strong. You have to take care of your body. And that's part of the spiritual protection. Your body is almost like your coat of armor. This is your protection. So you have to love your body. You have to be comfortable in your body. Feed your body. Nourish yourself, your body, nourish your mind, nourish your soul with activities that make you feel really happy. Does that make sense for you? In a holistic approach, you have to take care of all the pieces of you. And yes, spiritual person. It also includes your body, the temple of your soul. You have to take care of your very physical 3D needs. Those needs, of course, I mentioned the food, your water, stay hydrated, especially if you deal with a lot of high-end energy. You need to be hydrated properly. You know that water conducts electricity. We're about, what is the ratio, 90% water in our bodies? So we conduct a whole lot of electricity through our bodies. The more hydrated you are, the better this energy can circulate through you, and then the better you can ground it later on. Okay, and so your physical activity, your nutrition, things that you read, all of that, you need to take care of that. Does that make sense? So let me know in the comments if that makes sense. So there are a few other things that I want to cover in this quick video. So we define a little bit the concept of the psychic protection, and that you are responsible for your own well-being and for that protection. So let's just come back a little bit. Hi, Carissa. You want a reading on your energy. I'm not doing the readings today, but you can certainly join us in Mystic Priestess School. There's on Thursdays, there's a soul care hour, and that's what those hours are for. So we connect on the energy level. Um, so coming back a little bit to what is protection. This is what it feels like. The common feelings of being protected means that you feel safe, you feel secure, you feel calm and peaceful, you feel present, you feel connected to source, you feel emotionally stable, empowered, strong, alive, energetic, and you know what energy is yours and what energy is not. And that's one of the key lessons for the empaths. Now, contrasting that, what does it feel like to not be protected? You feel fearful, you feel edgy, you feel stressed, you feel anxious, reactive, explosive, you feel spaced out, you feel dizzy, lightheaded, you might feel drained, you might feel lethargic, you might feel like icky, gooey feelings, almost like you're covered in spider webs. And there's that feeling that you might always be watched. So you're kind of always looking over your shoulder, always looking around, like, is there someone watching me? So that's when you're not protected. You're not very well grounded. So again, if you really take care of your body and if you ground yourself and protect yourself, it's going to alleviate those symptoms of feeling frazzled, of not being present. So here's an exercise that you can do to really feel protected. And it comes to awareness and the awareness of your own energy system. So come back to your physical body and come back to your physical senses. I know that when we're spiritual, we want to develop our sixth senses and all those super senses and our superpowers. But really remember that your body is a superpower. Your skin is the biggest organ in your body. Your body, the temple of your soul, is a huge antenna for energy. So it is a superpower. Never lose sight of that. So come back to your body and then ask yourself really basic questions. Right now, with this breath, how is my breath? How is my breath? Feel your heartbeat. And from this space, ask yourself, so what am I smelling now? What are the scents around me? As you look around, ask yourself, what am I seeing now? What are the colors? What are the textures? What are you seeing? And ask yourself, what am I hearing now? What am I feeling now? And ask yourself what you're feeling through your emotions, but also through your body. What's the temperature on your skin? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Have you slept well enough? So come back to all of those basic questions. And just being in that awareness is going to give you a sense of spiritual protection. Why? Because you're empowering yourself to take care of you and take care of your needs. No one else can do that for you. You have to take the power to take good care of you. And that is spiritual protection. That is you raising up to the plate and protecting yourself. So make spiritual protection a part of your everyday routine. And remember that to be spiritually protected, you don't need a whole lot of those expensive things that are sold in metaphysical stores, right? A lot of people in the spiritual world, unfortunately, take spiritual protection as a bypass for what's really going on in their energy field. So instead of saying, I'm not feeling comfortable with that person, or I'm not feeling comfortable in this situation, or I'm not in that right environment. You remember that client I was talking about in the beginning? So I'm not in the right environment. I'm not in the right relationship. I'm not in the right job. I know that, but I'm not taking any steps to change that. So I'm feeling really depressed and unhappy with myself, but I'm not doing anything for that. So then there's a guilt and there's all kinds of other negative energies that are overlaid on top of that because you're not taking action in your energy. So instead of taking action and to put yourself in the right environment, you're just going to smudge more, have crystals, have all kinds of things because the world is against you and people are attacking you. When really you need to ask yourself, is that really the case? Or is it that you're afraid to take action that is going to align yourself with your soul? So I know this is not the typical teaching. Might be a little bit of hard love, but that is the road of empowerment, is taking that radical self-acceptance and that radical responsibility for your life, for your vibe, for where you are, for your environment, and for what you're creating. Because remember, you are a very powerful co-creator. If you don't like what's around you, you don't like your financial situation, you don't like your relationship, then come back to, what can I do in this 3D world to change something about that? Because you can change the vibe, you can change your mindset, you can change your emotion, but try to know the difference between what is really a coping mechanism and what is really making a difference in your life. Does that make sense? And to really make a difference in your life in a 3D world so that you can experience something different, it's through action, through aligned action. So I hope this makes sense. Do ask your questions, but if you do want any type of energy reading, if you want some help working through issues that have to do with your spiritual well-being, do join me at Mystic Priestess School. And as I was mentioning earlier to Carissa, on Thursdays, we have a soul care hour where it's almost like a one-on-one with you, where I will be able to support you energetically in dealing with different situations and give you tips that you can implement right away in your life so that you feel better. I hope that this made sense for you. In terms of what is psychic protection, knowing that psychic protection is really about you, it's about your vibe, it's about what you're willing to do in the 3D to make sure that you're like that plant who is thriving and connected with abundance, connected with the world, connected with universal love, and anchoring that energy to have a radiating effect in the world around you. My wish for you is for it to feel like that plant who's just radiating that love, anchoring it, and changing the world. So if you need help, message me. I'm here to help you. And again, join me in Mystic Priestess School for you to receive some more specific help that you need. All right. So be well, take a nice deep breath, and I'll see you soon. Bye.